In this video, we will discuss asexual reproduction. What is it? What are the characteristics of asexual reproduction? And what are the types of it? As its name indicates, the mode of reproduction in which a single parent will give rise to young ones or new organisms is known as asexual mode of reproduction. The mode of reproduction in which a single parent will give rise to the young ones or the organism of its own kind is known as asexual mode of reproduction. This mode of reproduction does not involve the formation of gametes. One more thing here, bache. During the asexual reproduction, the organisms which are produced, the young ones which are produced, are just identical to each other, and that are referred as clones. So if someone asks you what are clones, the organisms which are genetically, means according to their genes, means according to their DNA, and morphologically identical. Morphological means according to their physical features. So genetically and morphologically identical individuals are known as clones. And clones, that is the morphologically and genetically identical individuals, young ones, are produced during asexual reproduction, asexual mode of reproduction. Now we'll discuss what are the characteristics of asexual reproduction. The first one is a single parent is involved. In this mode of reproduction, one parent will give rise to the young ones. Second, clones are produced. The young ones are genetically and morphologically identical to each other. Next, no gametes or no gamete formation takes place. This mode of reproduction does not require any kind of gametes. Fourth, if there are no gametes, that means no fusion of gametes takes place. That means no fertilization occurs. As your previous classes, like in 8th, you must have studied about the fertilization that we'll discuss in this chapter as well. The fusion of male and female gamete, male and female sex cell to produce a zygote is known as fertilization. And as if there is no gamete formation takes place in asexual mode of reproduction, that means there is no fertilization takes place. Next, no meiotic cell division. The cell division which takes place is only mitotic. As you discussed in your previous class, that is 9th, what are cell division? When cell divides into two or more than two kind of cells is known as cell division. It is of two types, majorly. Meiosis, that is reductional division, in which the chromosome number are reduced to half as compared to the parent cell. मान लो बच्चे पेरेंट सेल में 46 क्रोमोसोम है, 46 क्रोमोसोम्स हैं. In gametes, after the meiosis, only 23 and 23 will remain. So chromosome number is reduced to half. That is meiotic cell division. And no meiosis takes place in asexual reproduction. Next, variations are rare. As single parent give rise to the new organism or young ones, variations are very rare in this mode of reproduction. So these are the characteristics of asexual reproduction, asexual mode of reproduction. After this, we will discuss the types of asexual reproduction. The first one which we will discuss is fission. Fission means to split up. The mode of asexual reproduction in which a single organism, single cell divides into two, and those two cells will act as young ones. Second, budding. Bud means an outgrowth. The mode of reproduction in which a parent will give rise to an outgrowth, and that outgrowth will detach from the parent, and then the detached bud, the detached organism will act as a new organism, act as a young one. That is known as, that mode of reproduction is known as budding. Fragmentation. As its name indicates, a single organism, a single parent organism divides or splits up into various fragments, and each fragment will give rise to a young one. Regeneration. Re means again, and generation means to produce, to generate something. The mode of reproduction in which a lost part is regenerated, or from the cutted part a complete organism is formed, that mode of reproduction is known as regeneration. Next, spore formation. The mode of asexual reproduction in which multiple smaller or multiple tiny reproductive units are formed, those reproductive units are known as spores, and these spores spread away into the various regions, into the various areas, and wheresoever those spores fell off, a new organism arises at that particular place. So that these tiny microscopic reproductive units, which will give rise to a new organism, which will give rise to a young one, are known as spores. Next we'll study the last one in this chapter, the mode of asexual reproduction in plants, that is vegetative propagation. For that we'll understand first the term vegetative propagules. The small units of a plant which has the capacity to give rise to a young one is known as, or are known as, vegetative propagules. Vegetative propagules are the smaller reproductive units of the plants which will give rise to a young plant. So, the mode of reproduction in which vegetative propagules of a plant will give rise to a young plant, to a new plant, that method is known as vegetative propagation. So these are the types of asexual reproduction which we will discuss one by one in this chapter.